Hello everyone, Rochelle here, and I'm here today to talk to you all about some more yarn stuff. Okay, so let's get started. Now you're probably looking at this lovely top that I am wearing, and yes, I made this myself. I made it using, let me show you. I made it using the Bag O Day, I believe that's, yeah, Bag O Day Crochet and More YouTube page. And the name of the video is how to crochet a women's large to X large top shirt with optional sleeves, and it's a tutorial, and I will leave the link to the tutorial in the description box below. And the yarn that I used was Red Heart with Love, Plum Jam. And I used an I-size hook for this shirt. And so I really like the shirt. Like I got so many compliments on it. You know, I really love it. I love the color. It turned out great. And I just absolutely love it. Now, the next time that I make this shirt, because there will be a next time. The next time that I make this shirt, I'm probably going to use either a G or an H size hook because it is a little too big. But what I did to fix that was make myself a drawstring. Now, the drawstring is not a part of the tutorial, but what I did was, I believe I chained like 200, and what I did was I left about 5 inches of a tail on the end just so I could knot it at the end so it wouldn't unravel. But I did a chain of about 200, and I weaved that chain around the middle part of the shirt, and I tied it together so I can be cinched and snatched right in the middle, you know, just to show off the curve. So that's what I did. I just improvised, and I made a chain belt, and I weaved it in and out of the fabric, and I pulled it together like a drawstring, and yeah, that's how I was able to make it fit better, and I absolutely love the fit. The great thing about my yarn choice is that I can choose different colors of shirts or tank tops to put underneath it. Right now I have a pink top underneath it, but I also have a coral color. I have a lavender color, a deep purple color I could use. Yeah, and I even have like a fuchsia looking color top that I can put under it. And so you all are probably wondering, what does it look like on? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a video now of me just kind of modeling what the shirt looks like. Okay, so you just saw what the shirt looks like on. Once again, like I said, I absolutely love the fit, especially after I added the drawstring to it. And I definitely am going to make more of these. Now, as far as the yarn goes, I used 3 of these skeins of yarn, and these skeins are 5 ounces, 230 yards, and I used 3 of these, I believe. I didn't quite use, yeah, I would say 3. Definitely make sure you have at least 3 skeins of this. And these are 5 ounce skeins of the variegated yarn. Of course, usually there's not as much variegated yarn as there is like a solid skein of yarn. So this is what I used. Of course, you can use whatever type of yarn you want to use. It's, you know, it's getting hot, so maybe you want to use a cotton with a nice a nice stretch to it. Or maybe you want to use like a DK weight. That would be even nicer. So it's up to you. So I really am enjoying this top. I've already wore it twice, and I can't wait to see what I'm going to make next. Because like I said, I want to make this again. So I haven't picked out a yarn choice yet, but I'm definitely on the hunt for one. So that's the first thing that I want to show you all. Okay, so I've been quite busy. The next thing that I want to show you all is, I don't know, a few videos back I shared with you all a new hat design that I had done. And this was the original hat. And this was made using Red Heart Super Saver Desert Camo. And it was, oh, what's her name? Jay's Knit and Pearl. She suggested that the next time I make this hat that I use a solid color because it'll show the different stitches. And so that's what I did. I took her advice. So I had some scrap yarn. And this is Red Heart Classic Nickel color. And this is my hat design. And you can see the stitch definition a little bit better than the variegated. You can see it in both, but it's nice to have it in a solid color. And my husband absolutely loves this new design, and I think he wants me to make him some, you know, hint hint. But I really like it. It's really simple. And if you all are interested, I will do a tutorial on it. So just let me know if you all are interested in receiving a tutorial on this hat. Like I said, it's really simple. Great for a beginner. You only have to know the basic stitches. It's really nice. Okay, so that's that. Alright, so as you all know, I am participating in the Ugly Blanket 2016 challenge. And so far we're on June. And the last time that I had made a video, I think I was working on June's, but I hadn't finished it yet. So this is June's Ugly Granny Square. Pretty ugly, right? There's a little bit of everything. And these are 12-inch squares. I haven't sewn the ends in. I mean, who likes doing that? But this is Mingmao 1's challenge. Also, it was Yarn Yenta 247 that I learned this challenge from, and so they're both doing it, as well as a lot of other people. And so you should definitely follow them and follow me on Instagram just to see what our squares are. And if you just do, I think it's hashtag Ugly Blanket 2016 or something like that. But anyway, I'll put the hashtag in the video somewhere. And yeah, so if y'all just hashtag that, then you'll see that there's like a zillion people doing the Ugly Granny Squares. And if they're not part of this particular challenge, they just do Ugly Granny Squares in general. And it's great to go on Instagram and see what type of creations people have come out with. And it's been so great because I've been able to use up my scrap yarn, which has just been wonderful. And I've had quite a bit of scrap yarn lately. Yeah, so let me show you my next square. So I've also started on July's. So what had happened was, you all may remember that Bob Wilson 123, she was doing a crochet along for a cardigan. And I had started on that cardigan, and it was turning out way too big. And I didn't want to start it over because I had gotten so far into it. So I just kind of put it away. And I decided that, okay, I have to do something with the yarn. So what I ended up doing was I just decided to take apart all the yarn and just cake it back up. And what I did was I had some scraps left. And so what I decided to do was go ahead and make July's Ugly Blanket Square. Yeah, Ugly Granny Square blanket. And the rest of the yarn from that cardigan, it's like an ivory cream color. And I haven't decided what I want to do with that yet. I'm currently looking for a color to do the borders of these squares in. So I may use that because I have a lot of yarn left over from that crochet along cardigan. However though, the sweater crochet along that she did, I finished that one. If y'all remember, I did the purple sweater and it turned out great, and all I had to do was just go down a size and it turned out great. So I'll definitely want to try the cardigan crochet along again in the future, and I will use a different yarn, and I will use a smaller hook size, and also I will go down a measurement from what Claire directs you to do in her recipe. So this is July's square. It's I don't know, it's probably one of the better looking ones, but it's just 2 colors. The other ones have kind of been all over the place, but there it is. Okay. Oh yeah, I know what else I was going to show you. I almost forgot. So here in North Carolina, there's this really awesome place called Frankie's. It's like a arcade, and you can just win stuff and everything. And so my husband and I just celebrated our 3-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago, sometime last month. And my husband took me to Frankie's, and it was a lot of fun. And you play games, and then you win like oh, where's my card? Can't find it. You win like tickets or like tokens, or anyway, you know how you win like a bunch of tickets and you can get like prizes or something. So anyway, well, he and I both, we got like, I don't know, maybe like 1,000 points or something. And so we were able to get quite a lot of stuff from their little gift store. So one of the things that he got me was this bag. And of course, I had to use it as a project bag. I mean, what else would I use it for? It is so big and roomy. I absolutely love it. It is so nice. And it's kind of like a pinkish purple. Goes with my shirt. Like a fuchsia color bag. But it's really big and really roomy inside. And what I have inside right now is my bedspread that I'm working on. As you all know, I am making a granny square bedspread, and so these are the squares. That's one, and here's 2, and I'm going to be alternating those to make the bedspread. And the colors that I'm using are Red Heart Classic True Blue, Red Heart Classic Blue Jewel, and Red Heart Classic Olympic Blue. And so right now I have 21 squares. I was shooting for 35, but I think I'm going to finish this square. This is my work in progress. I'm going to finish this square, and I'm going to kind of take an inventory of how things look and just kind of try to put the squares side by side just to see if I really need to make 35 or am I good right now with 21, or if we all need more than 35. I hope not. I haven't weaved in any of the ends of any of these squares. So I know I could have been joining as I went along, but I didn't. So after I finish the squares, the next process will be, the next thing in the process will be weaving in all of the ends and then putting them together. And I have been trying to decide, how do I want to put these squares together? Do I want to do like a whip stitch, or do I want to do a slip stitch, or do I want to do a single crochet where it has kind of like a ridge in between each square? I don't know. I have no idea how I want to join these squares, but we shall see. I hope to have this bedspread made by August. You know, that way by the time it gets cold, I will have already given this to the recipient, and that'll be great. I'm actually really enjoying making it, but when it comes time to weave in all of those ends and sew them together, I probably will be singing a different tune. Okay? Alright, so I think that is all my crochet stuff. So I want to share with you all some knitting things. As you all know, about I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago, I taught myself how to knit. And one thing I have to really get on myself, because I spent all these years saying, oh, I'll never knit, I'll never knit. And I literally watched a video from Expression Fiber Arts, and I learned to crochet in like less than 30 minutes. All this time I kept saying, no, knitting's too hard, it's intimidating. I literally learned how to do the garter stitch and how to bind off in like 30 minutes. I could have been knitting. I really could have been knitting. But anyway, that's in the past. I moved on. So, before I show you all my latest project, I do have a couple of things to show you. The first thing I want to show you is something that I bought. I bought some knitting needles. Take these out. So I went to Walmart and I got these needles, and of course 2 are missing because those are in my current project right now. But yeah, they are aluminum knitting needles, sizes 8 through 10, which is sizes 5 through 5.75, and they're really nice. At first all I had was these 2 plastic knitting needles, and I just wanted to see which one I would crochet better with. And I mean, I like both of them. I like the aluminum ones. I just had to get used to keeping the yarn actually on the needle, because these are a little bit more slipperier. Yeah, I just totally made that word up. They don't slide. They slide easier to me on the aluminum ones versus the plastic ones. I felt like my tension was a little tight on the plastic ones, and I felt like my tension was a little looser on the aluminum ones. But I think that's because I crochet loosely, and so I think it's only natural for me to maybe knit loosely as well. And so yeah, I'm glad I got these. The next thing that I want to get are some circular needles, because I do want to make a hat, and I also want to knit a shawl. I've seen a lot of great patterns going around, and so those are my next goals. You know, I want to try circular needles, and I also want to try bamboo needles. You know, I want to kind of try a lot of different types of things. So that's that. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you all is a gift that I got. Drop something. It was a gift that I got like forever ago, and I couldn't use it because I wasn't knitting. And I remember when the person gave me this this gift, I was like, okay, I don't knit, have no desire to learn how to knit, so what am I going to do with this? Here it is. This is my knitting journal. It's really nice, really pretty, and as you can see, there's little cable stitches going up there, which is cool because I really would love to learn how to cable, but I can't even do stockinette at the moment, just the garter stitch. So knitting goals. So this is a knitting journal, and it's really neat. I haven't wrote anything in it yet, but what I did was I went through the journal and I just kind of saw some things that I really liked, and I just kind of marked them off, and I will share those with you. It has templates for drawing your designs. It's got like little sweaters and socks and stuff. It also has graphing paper. Graphing paper is great for drawing. You can see that. And the cool thing about the grafting paper is that it has like tiny graphing paper, like tiny squares, and then it has like the larger squares. I hope you all can see that. If not, just take my word for it. And it also has blank pieces of paper with these really cool little poems on them, like little inspirational sayings. Inspirational sayings on them. So let me read one of them. It says, "Bye bye, little sheep. Have you any wool? Yes, yes, dear child, I have a sack full. Holiday coat for father, Sunday skirt for mother, and 2 pairs of stockings for little, little brother. And this is a traditional Swedish nursery rhyme. So it has like little things like that all throughout the book, which is really neat. And it also has blank paper with graphing, with a little graphing circle down at the bottom. That's nice. And then it has little pictures on it, little ideas of things to make. These are mittens, and there's plenty of blank space for you to draw. And the last thing I want to show you in this book, which is just so awesome and so helpful, is that they have charts. It has charts, and this is a knitting inventory, so you can just kind of take an inventory of all of your circular needles and your single point needles, your double point needles. And one thing that I thought was really cool is that it actually has a page for yarn shops. You can keep a list of all of your yarn shops and vendors. So I can't wait to fill that in. We have 2 new yarn shops here locally, so that's really cool. We have the Yarn Parlor, and then we have Elle's Yarn Stash. And also it has some pages called Where Did I See That Pattern? If you're anything like me, you'll see a great pattern, and then you'll go back to look for it, and it's not there because you didn't write it down or you didn't save the page on your computer or your tablet. Happens to me all the time. And see, that's one page. Okay, and oh, the last thing that it has is called What Size Should I Knit? So you know how when you make things for people, everybody's sizes are different. So you can write down the height, the width, the waist size, the underarm measurements, the ages. Oh yeah, there's a few more things. The really cool thing that I like about this book is that it has a supply checklist. So to make sure that you have all of your knitting essentials, there's a little checklist there that you can look at just to make sure that you have everything. Calculator, hand lotion, nail file, just the stuff that we don't even think about. And even crochet hooks. Sometimes crochet hooks are useful in knitting. And it has commonly used abbreviations. I know in the crochet world there's a lot of abbreviations, DC, FC, HDC, you know, there's a lot of different abbreviations, and so they have knitting abbreviations for things like cables and cast on and increases and knit through the back loop or knit 2 together. So it's really helpful, and I'm happy that I finally have a chance to use this book, and it's really pretty. So that's that. Okay, so now I want to share with you all my knitting project. And for those of you all who follow me on Instagram, it's not the blue scarf that I had started on. I frogged that project because the yarn just kept splitting, and I really wasn't feeling it. So I frogged it, and I adjusted my hook and that's crochet. I adjusted my needle size, and I adjusted the yarn that I was using. So this is what I'm working on. And the yarn that I'm using for this project is the I Love This yarn by Hobby Lobby, and the color is Forest. This is some leftover yarn that I had from a hat that I had made a while ago. But that's the yarn. Okay, so let's see the project. I am making a scarf, and the pattern that I got it from is, let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Okay, so it's from Expression Fiber Arts, and I will leave a link to this pattern or to this tutorial in the description box below. And it's really simple. She's really good at explaining, and it's called How to Knit a Beginner Scarf. And so it's really, really good. And I think I shared with you all last week, she did a video called how to knit even if you're like an absolute beginner. And so that's a really good video as well. She has a really good channel, and when I get ready to make my hat, I think I'm gonna use one of her videos as well. But let me show you all what I've been working on so far. So this is it. And kind of like I know Yarn into 247, she uses hair ties to tie her her needles together so that she doesn't, you know, lose her yarn. Well, I used a rubber band, and until I can get, you know, something else to use, I think that's working out just fine. So in the video tutorial, she wants you to use a size 8 hook with DK weight yarn. Well, just like in crochet, I do not do well with small hooks. And it was something about that size 8, I was like, I need a bigger needle. And also, I'm not the biggest fan of thin yarn. I will make things with fingering weight, sport weight, DK weight, but I prefer my good old worsted weight yarn. And so that's what I did. And so it's just a simple garter stitch. And I have been working on this, it seems like forever. Like if I was crocheting a scarf, I would probably be done by now. But knitting is so much slower. But I have to say that it's extremely relaxing and addicting, and it's hard for me to put it down. Like I find myself saying, okay, I'm just going to knit one more row. I'm just going to knit one more row. And then 6 rows later, I'm just going to knit one more row. So it's very addicting. Hope you can see the stitches. Good with that. But it's a garter stitch, and I'm really liking the way the fabric is turning out. And what I like about this particular stitch is how stretchy the fabric is. It's really stretchy, and that's really pretty. Maybe when I finally finish and block it, it may keep some of the stretch. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so that is all the stuff that I wanted to show you all today. I did write some stuff down that I wanted to cover. Last week I had asked you all to share how much you all had spent on a single skein of yarn, like what's the most you've ever spent. And I got a ton of responses, everything from $12 to $40 people have spent on yarn. So we're very serious about our yarn, and sometimes you just have to break the bank to get what you want, right? But there's a few questions that I'd like to ask you all, the audience, today. One is, what is the best and most comfortable crochet hooks? I am looking for some new crochet hooks, ones with a nice, good grippy handle, one that's really comfortable. I do prefer, I think they're the boy hooks. Yeah, I do prefer the hooks that kind of look like that, but I'm willing to try anything. But in your opinion, what are the most comfortable, what are the best crochet hooks that you like and that you would like to suggest for me? Also, I've learned a lot of things. Like when it comes to knitting, the biggest problem that I had was the points like sticking me in the fingers. Oh my gosh, my fingers were just so sore. But I learned that if I use my index finger and my thumb to pull the stitches off, that it wouldn't hurt so much. So it's kind of like a learn as you go thing. You know, you try to find out a way to keep from stabbing yourself with your knitting needle. Which brings me to my next question. Okay. Do you all think it is safe to knit while in the car or while you're moving in a vehicle? Do you think that it is safe to take your knitting needles out on the road? You know, if you're a passenger, you're in the passenger side or you're in the back seat in a moving car, do you think it is safe to use your knitting needles? Because I've been reading different articles about this, and I've been really curious about it. I've actually kind of been a little nervous to knit in the car while it's, you know, while it's being driven. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just paranoid that my needles are gonna, you know, I don't know, stab me or something. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, I guess with crochet hooks, I've never really thought about them being dangerous in the car because they have a rounded tip. But I don't know, it's something about these sharp, these sharp points. Maybe I'm being way too paranoid. But anyway, so my question is, do you all knit in the car while it's... So anyway, I guess my camera ran out of space. Rude. But anyway, as I was saying, do you all knit in the car? I've heard these crazy stories about how, you know, people are super paranoid. I don't knit in the car. I do knit in the car. I don't know, like, I love taking my crochet everywhere, and I would love to feel comfortable and taking my knitting anywhere. So I would love for you all to let me know, do you all take your knitting out and about, in the car, on the bus, wherever it is that you knit? And if so, do you use aluminum needles, or do you use something else, maybe like plastic or bamboo? I don't know. I'm new at this. I would love to hear you all's opinion. So that is all that I have for today. Thanks for watching. As usual, you all can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook. Yeah, you know where you can find all that stuff. It'll be in the description box below. So until next time, I'll see you all later, and happy crochet and knitting and whatever other yarn craft that you do. So bye.